have stolen our childhood and our dreams with your empty words. You're failing us, but young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail as I say, we will never forgive you. This is an excerpt from Greta Thunberg's speech at the United Nations Climate Action Summit in New York. On the 73rd session of the General Assembly High-Level Meeting on Climate and Sustainable Development, precisely on 29 March 2019, the United Nations declared that we have only 11 years to avert catastrophe. The Secretary General of the General Assembly also called for an intergenerational approach to climate change. Climate justice is intergenerational justice, she said. She also calls on states to act collectively and responsibly. Now that was only 2 years ago. You can imagine how much has changed this past few years, considering the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. This means we have only 9 years left before we create irreversible damage. Allow me to walk you through the issue of averting this catastrophe and see how important the role of young generations is in combating climate change. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Zebi Magnolia, or usually called Zebi. I am currently studying at the LSPR Communication and Business Institute, Jakarta. I am currently in my 6th semester, majoring in international relations. As an LSPR student, of course, we must be able to master public speaking skills. Therefore, on this occasion, I will practice what I have learned from the public speaking subject. The public speaking subject itself is taught by Mr. Charles Bonar Sirait, so I am mentored and under his supervision. Now I am here today to talk about climate change. As a student, one of my duties is to remind the importance of this topic, especially to younger generations such as myself. Now I want to ask you a question. Did you know that we're living through the biggest carbon crash ever recorded? Cited from Matt McGrath, an environment respondent from BBC. No war, no recession, no previous pandemic has had such a dramatic impact on emissions of carbon dioxide over the past century as COVID-19 has. Multiple sources such as Global Carbon Project indicates that we are now living through an unrivaled drop in carbon output. On Earth, human activities are changing the natural greenhouses. Over the last century, the burning of fossil fuels like coal and oil has increased the concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, stated that our future generations are in big danger if we don't take any serious actions to slow down climate change. Therefore, as young generations, we need to urge world leaders in prioritizing collaboration between state and non-state actors. Now, as youth, how can we help combat climate change? This answer to these questions now lies in our hands. Most especially the youth. Why us? Why should we be involved in it? It is because the youths of today are the future and the people of tomorrow. It is the youth of today that will serve as the foundation for the next generation to come. Now the question is, how? What can we do? We use too much, and too much of it is toxic, and we don't share it very well. But that's not the way things have to be. Youths can help stop climate change in their own simple yet purposeful ways, such as joining environmental organizations or groups, participating in various governmental, non-governmental, school or community programs and projects against climate change, helping report illegal activities to authorities, walking or biking in short distances instead of riding fuel vehicles, segregating garbage at home, and lastly, encouraging our friends, schoolmates, and our family to do what we are currently doing. Doing those things can help mitigate climate change. Today, we should realize that we have a moral responsibility towards our environment and our planet. Stopping climate change is not easy, but if we work together as one, our micro effects will have macro effects on our environment and our planet. The survival of every living being on Earth depends on how we handle our own environment. We humans are the highest form of being on this planet, so we are to blame if things go wrong on our own planet. Now, to me and to all the youths around the world, let us act now. Let us be involved in this fight. As a young generation, let us help the former generation in shaping our environment. Our voice matters and our life matters. So, what are we waiting for? Let us stand together in stopping climate change. Many people still do not want to believe in climate change or that mankind is greatly exacerbating the problem because they do not want to be inconvenienced by having to change their lifestyle. But this is our future, and we have the mission and urge to change this damage. Action and ambition and political will can help prevent climate change. I am speaking up in hopes that youth leaders can urge global leaders to understand that the time for action is now. My last message to the world leaders is this: our future is in your hands. Please do not let the hope of the world be in fear. Thank you.